So this is a long-term review of the Switch Pros. This one I bought in 2015 when they first came out, and I've had it installed since, and I use it almost daily for my lights and things on my Jeep. I've had absolutely no problems whatsoever with it. Install was pretty simple. I'll go over a little bit of the install part of it in part of this video. So there's what the panel looks like, and the backlight, it's pretty bright, and you can adjust the way that everything looks. I just changed out my stickers on there so a little bit blacked out, so I'm going to redo those so they look a little better. And then the amount, it can control. Right now I have it, so I have two interior lights. I have a set of bumper lights, fog lights. I have a rear light, I have double rears, I have a light bar, and I have my air compressor. The air compressor takes a special switch, or a special wiring, and that's my compressor. There is a wiring harness, I think it's like $15 or something that you had to buy to be able to plug that into it. Let me see the box. So when you get it, hang on, this a little weathered. So it comes with instructions on how to wire everything up. This is another mounting panel for the buttons if you want to mount them somewhere else. For right now, that's where I first installed it, and I've left it on there. I'm actually thinking of putting it up here. I just put a roll cage in. Try to figure out a way that I can mount it so that somehow or another this will go up here and put my switches up there. If I can figure out a way to do that, then I might move it up to there. Don't know at this point. And this is for the ARB compressor. If you're going to run an ARB compressor, you do need the adapter wire. And then they come with one panel, I believe. I had to contact them as soon as I got it because I was using left and right lights. And they actually sent me another panel and then stickers so I'd be able to do that. And they've changed these, I think, since then. I was looked on their website recently, and they have some new ones. One's geared toward racing, and one's regular off-road, or whichever that is. And then super nice people. I sent them an email, talked to them on the phone. They got the panels out to me right away. They were a little bit behind because they were at SEMA, I believe it was. So Vice President of Sales, Laura, if you're still there, you're pretty awesome. I remember how quick they got these out and took care of what I needed. So that was pretty good. So it's not very often that you see it. You have a product that works really well, and they have customer service to back it up. So quite impressed. And we'll go ahead and go under the hood and show you how the brains of this thing. So this is pretty much the brains of the system. It's a solid state. There is no relays or everything's part of here. You got the one wire. This goes to the battery, and then these are your output wires, and then ignition, and then you have your lights, and I think that's about it. It was actually quite simple to install. I don't know, I think they've changed it, I'm not positive, but each one of these red wires coincides to a spot on the switch panel, and I know when I installed it, that was kind of a pain in the butt. It wasn't that difficult, but you have, 8 red wires going through the firewall, and you have to turn the switch on to find out which red wire is for that particular switch. So when you're, all you're doing is you're running your red wire to your accessory, in my case mostly just lights. So that was a little bit it's not that big a deal, but I think they change it so they're color coded. So you know if they would know that, you know, red wire goes to one, yellow wire, blue wire, whatever. It'd make it a little bit easier to install when you're running a lot of wire to a lot of different things. And this runs 8 accessories, and I do have the. Let's see if I can find it in here. The switch for. I don't know where it's at. Just clean all my wiring up. But the plug-in for the compressor. I'm running the dual air. And that's about it for the, that's really all to it. It's this and the control panel, or the switch panel, and that's it. Okay, so we're back into the switch panel. We have them configured to battery or ignition. So my interior dome light is on. Go ahead and turn that one on and off. That's actually on a battery only. Turn that one off and then turn the overhead. We have the red, which I really recommend red light as a dome light. It really helps if you need to adjust your radio or you know, anything you need to do and not lose your night vision, because the white light is pretty bright. So go ahead and turn that one off. Turn the cargo light on, and then so so we have 8 things tied into it. So we have the compressor, we have 2 dome lights, and then we have the bumper lights. So that's just the bumper lights are on, and I believe those are just on off. So turn the bumper light off. Now turn the fog light on. And then the way to get it to strobe is you double tap it. You can do strobe, or you can do on off. So that's our strobe. It is a little bit fast for a strobe, and I kind of wish there was a way that they could make it so that you could adjust your strobe or select your strobe like a normal strobe light. You have different strobe patterns. This one, there is no way to check for this, to adjust the strobe. There's just a strobe on or off. So go ahead and do the light bar and turn. Now we're onto the rear. So do the overhead rears, the double. So we have double rear. I'm blinding myself for doing it. And then double tap the overhead. Okay, well that's the single rear. Now do the 2 rear and double tap it. Turn the strobe off. Yeah, there we go. And see, I have those on as a flash, and then turn them onto regular. Okay, so now turn everything on so they're individually on. Light bar, rear lights, fog lights. So I have, granted it's all LED lighting, Baja Designs, 2 lights. Do the second rear, is that on? Second rear, blinding you, sorry. And we have 2 dome lights. We have a light bar, and we have the Squadron Pro and the Squadron Pro XL. All of those are on. And it's all from the one control panel. You can turn that one on too. It's just, yeah, probably not, because it's like 3 in the morning and my wife will come out and yell at me because it's noisy. But the thing is, trying to show that this switch panel will operate 8 accessories, and there's no relays, fuses, or anything like that. It really cleans up your wiring, really makes everything simple, and it's probably one of the best improvements. I know it was one of the first expensive upgrades that I've done in my Jeep, and it's the one that I've liked the most. So I know their new model, go ahead and turn them all off except for the overhead in here. So the new model they have, where I believe you can get it so that you can do horizontal or vertical, and I believe they have where it's recessed or the screws aren't showing. So they have several different options available now. So that's Switch Pros. Check them out. All right, so this is the app for the Switch Pros. Pretty easy. It self-connects. It'll scan. It loads up really fast. It's all Bluetooth. You can control all your lights or any of your accessories through your phone. Go to settings, and this is where you'll come in and configure switches. Once you're in there, you can set whatever function you want them to do. So this first one is either, the switch is just either on or off, or it's a momentary on or off. So go to next, it saves whatever your settings are, and then this is ignition or battery. So I like my dome lights to be battery, so that means I push the button and it'll come, my light will turn on. I don't have to have the ignition key on. So I do that for my dome light and my rear facing lights. And then push next. And once it loads, this is for your flash, so your light will flash on or off. I think I have the rear ones for flash. It's whatever you want. Push next. And then this one's going to be strobe. So your strobe is either on or off. It does not have a setting to pick a strobe pattern or speed or anything like that. It's either just strobe or on or off. So that's something I'd like to see later on. Low voltage disconnect, that'd be really good if you had a fridge or something like that. I have it for my air compressor. And then quite a few functions on here. Memory, so mine, I believe I turn them all on. So the memory, so it remembers the last function that it, the way you don't, you're always either on, off, or strobe, or whatever you want to use first. Then you go to next, it'll save. Master control, so there is master switch. I'm not exactly sure how this one works, but I'm assuming you can control other switches. Go to exit, and there it is. You can control all your accessories from your phone, which is pretty neat. Other settings, you can password, you can set your name, whatever the name for the switch is, whatever you want it to say. You can see on mine, that's what I use. And then push exit, it'll load, and it'll come back in to your buttons. So then you can also do the dimming. For the LED is the indicator light, whether the switch is on, you know, the accessories on or off. And then the backlight is the green light. So I keep those kind of dim. I don't like a real bright light when I'm driving, and they are pretty bright. So I like that it's adjustable. That's definitely a nice feature to have on there. You can adjust. And I believe the new ones, you can actually change the colors on their new versions they came out with. And really, that's about it. And there's your switches. So it mirrors everything that's on your switch panel on your dash, and that's it.